So I have been seeing this console right here getting dragged through the mud, like relentlessly dragged through the mud. And although we know Nintendo is pretty hostile and greedy when it comes to their business tactics and the way that they go about handling theirs, I think it's really important that we know what is true and what is not true when it comes to the console. Because the rumors and misinformation being spread about the console right here it's getting out of hand at this point. For instance, a lot of the rumors are saying that the physical cartridges will no longer hold the information for the games, but just hold a key to get you into a server to download the game. Now, yes, Nintendo has introduced these game key cards, but not all of the games are going to be game key cards. In fact, it will say on the game itself whether it's a key card or the actual game. Most of their titles, in fact, almost every Nintendo title is not going to be a game key card. The information will be on the cartridge. 64 gigabytes is the capacity of those cartridges. So this allows for games that are a bit bigger than 64 gigabytes to also sell physical copies. Nowhere does it say anywhere that all the games are now going to be KeyPass cards, which is just shitty that it's going around and people think that's what's happening. Also, the controversy around having to pay for the C button use, I think is just misinterpreted, and it was worded very poorly to make it sound like you have to pay for a feature that you shouldn't have to pay for. This button will allow you to access the game chat, and in my opinion, if you're using the game chat, you're using it to chat with somebody while playing an online game. And if you're playing an online game, then I guess you have the Nintendo Switch Online services. So if you are a subscriber to Nintendo Switch Online, which if you own one of these, I guarantee you are going to be, you don't have to worry about not using it. And that's pretty much every console. To get the online features, you have to pay for the subscription. So again, I think that was poorly worded, and that's misinformation too, because you don't have to pay for specific use of that. It's an online service that comes with their subscription. Also, it'll be free up until 2026, I think March, so you get a free trial of it too. So again, I just think that's kind of common sense. If you're playing online games and want to chat with each other, you gotta have the online service. I've also even seen videos of people claiming that this console will be a Wi-Fi tethered console, which means you could not play it if you did not have Wi-Fi. None of the games would work unless you were on Wi-Fi, which is complete horse crap. That nowhere ever did they even say that. You will be able to download games, you will be able to play the games on the go, you'll be able to do all that. So I don't know where that one even came from. So let's get into the bricking of the consoles. This is very much so true. They can brick your console. But if you think that Xbox or PlayStation or any of those other ones could not do so before, you're very, very, very sadly mistaken. They've all had the ability to do this if you do something that goes against their terms of service. Now, Nintendo might be assholes with what they might brick your console for, but in my opinion, if you are just a regular user, you are a regular gamer, and you're not modding or doing any of that extra stuff, you have nothing to worry about. It's the modders that have to worry about getting their console bricked. Also, I've heard people complaining that this system charges slower. That's not necessarily true. They've added a feature called slow down charging around 90%, which is exactly that. If you enable it, it will slow down the charging once it reaches around 90% to extend the life of the battery. This will make your console last longer. This is a good thing, so I don't even know why people are upset about that. That's just how batteries work. Also, I'm seeing rumors that Switch 1 games will need a paid upgrade to be able to run on the Switch 2, and that is just not true, but there will be some Switch 2 editions which are released, and those Switch 2 editions, keyword there being Switch 2 editions, will require this $10 upgrade, but that's because they are the Switch 2 editions, and they've added a whole bunch of stuff on there, so you're paying for the special edition made for the Switch 2. I don't know whether you think that's unfair or not. That's your opinion. I think it's fair. So all in all, I believe this console itself is getting a bad rep for the choices that Nintendo are making as a business themselves, which is not really fair because most of the information that made me think this system was going to suck was not even true. After doing some Googling and a little bit of research, you could find out that pretty much everything shitty being said about it right now is not accurate or it's misleading. So with that being said, please do some research before you decide whether or not to go pre-order this thing or purchase this thing. Did I pre-order this thing, or will I be purchasing it when it releases? No, I won't be. I'd rather wait a year or so to see how things go. I believe that with every console. They release a console, I'm going to wait probably a year or so to catch up with everybody else and get on the wave, because at that point then a lot of the bugs will be pointed out, the flaws will be pointed out, and I'll know what I'm getting. Because when you're buying a console at launch, a lot of the time you really don't know what you're getting until it's made public and people get their hands on it for a few months. So I will potentially be buying one after a year or so, but right off the bat, absolutely not. But the misinformation being spread around about this thing is not something that you should use as a factor on whether you're going to purchase this or not. If you are a die-hard Nintendo fan and you love the idea of the old school games being on there and available to you and all that stuff, go check it out. Google it, find out whether the information you're hearing is correct or not, because it's a quick little Google search can tell you whether you're being lied to or not. And a lot of these people are lying to you. They're trying to sway you to not buy this thing because they're upset with Nintendo. And Nintendo, stop being a douche. You have cool games, you have cool products, and you have a cool fan base that loves your stuff and is creative and have added some really neat things and got real creative with what you guys have created. It's awesome to have a community like that, and you guys are for some reason trying to smother that out. Stop doing that, and business will go a lot better for you. Love you all. Have a great day. Go be successful.